I hope you can hear me well. If for some reason you cannot hear me, please let me know. So, welcome to our webinar on the recent changes announced by AIMA. My name is Cátia Pereira Baptista, and joining me it's my colleague Cláudia Almeida Mendes. We will be with you for roughly 30 minutes to explain the changes in the residence permit processes for investors, which is known by ARI. I believe that most of our viewers already know Pereira. We are a multi-jurisdictional law firm that provides legal services in all areas of law, being highly recommended by the quality of its services. The firm possesses a vast experience in providing legal services and legal consulting at both national and international level. Cláudia and I are from the Immigration Department, and we count at this time with over 4,000 clients in our portfolio. So, you know, our hands are very full. So let's start with what brings us here. We want to keep our clients as updated as possible, so you don't have to be guessing where we are at this point. As most of you already know, in December 2024, AIMA issued a communication requesting the update of applications that are pending approval and biometrics appointments. This communication generated significantly uncertainty, of course, and doubt among legal representatives and investors, which is why we have been conducting these clarification sessions like today's to ensure that you are with all the information that we have and everything is up to date as much as possible. So we have the latest developments and you can understand what is happening and being done by our office. So I'll pass a brief summary of the recent changes. For those of you that may not be still aware, AIMA has announced a change in the policy for reviewing Golden Visa applications and scheduling appointments. Moving forward, the applications will be prioritized by the older applications will be prioritized, and the processes will now be mainly digital. With applications being processed electronically through the ARI portal. So, additionally, all applications previously marked as under review or accepted, which were most of them, have now been changed to awaiting submission. This means that the documents must be reviewed and updated to ensure that the applications can proceed. This is the reason why we have been requesting new documents to our clients, not because of some mistake we made, not because AIMA forgot your application, but simply because they requested that we resubmitted all the documents online. We are trying to submit the applications as complete as possible. AIMA emphasized the importance of meeting deadlines and legal requirements for document submission, including the validity, certification, legalization, translation, where applicable, of course, and it's crucial that all the documents are submitted directly and through the ARI portal. So please don't ask us to send letters or emails to AIMA, because at this stage, we simply cannot do that because they will not have any effect. My colleague Cláudia has been leading the submissions, making sure that everything is in order. She will now explain the new procedures, what she has been experiencing while resubmitting the clients, and all that's happening in the program. So I'll pass it to her now.
Hello guys, very nice to see you all of you here. I've seen in the chat that we have a lot of my clients here. So this is just basically to give you an update about the procedure, so you know more or less more. A lot of you already know what we are asking, but this is a very general procedure of what's happening. So the new procedure with the Immigration Office requires that all mandatory documents be updated, like Cátia said, in the ARI portal. The documents need to be legalized and preferably certified by us as your lawyers, and we can do that. The applicants must be ensured that the criminal records are up to date, and at the moment, only the main applicants are being called to update their documents. This means that we need criminal records from the main applicant at the moment, and regarding the documents of the investment, we, as your lawyers, request them to the banks, to the funds, to the companies that you've signed. If you invested in the property, we also request updated documents from those companies regarding the property that you purchase, if it's necessary. So like I said, in terms of the investor, what we will need from you is the criminal record, an updated criminal record. At the moment, family members do not need to update their documents, because what the Immigration Office wants is to approve the main applicants, and the families only give their documents at the moment of the appointment. Okay, so important aspects about this update documents that we've seen as we work with the Immigration Office. Children who have reached adulthood at the moment of the appointment will need to update their documents in terms of criminal records, proof of dependence from the investor. So additional documents from those that we submitted earlier will be needed at the moment of the appointment. We will obviously send you a list of all the documents required, investor by investor, family by family, so you know exactly what will be necessary for your case when the Immigration Office gives you an appointment. Okay, family members, children that are now over the age of 16 will need a criminal record, an updated criminal record at the moment of the appointment. Okay, like I said, other documents regarding your investment will be prepared by us, and this we are seeing that this takes a long time to obtain, namely bank declarations, and this is a mandatory document that we will need in order to resubmit the investor's application. So if by any chance we already asked you for the criminal records, you already sent us the criminal records, we have everything here, and we already told you we have everything here necessary, but the bank is not giving us a quicker response, we kindly ask you that you send a little email to the bank stating that you need this declaration, because your lawyers already have everything necessary to resubmit your application, and the only missing document is the bank. And this is something that we are in fact seeing with a lot of banks, because they're obviously, every law firm is trying to do the same, resubmit their clients, and the demand is very big. But sometimes when a client does a bit of pressure, things start to move a bit easier. So, like I said, all investment documents will be obtained by us. You don't have to preoccupy yourselves with that. We will send you a new power of attorney, and this is normally the last step that we will send you, so we can then resubmit your application. One very important thing is that obtaining these documents, namely the property documents from the authorities, the bank declarations, the tax declarations, might incur a bit of costs. So if we ask you for some additional costs, please don't feel surprised, because obviously this is almost a new application, and we have to do the whole work again to guarantee that your applications are as good as possible, to ensure that from now on you move as fast as possible. A very important update is about the in-person appointments. Regarding the scheduling, AIMA has stated that the appointments will be assigned automatically after applications are updated in the online portal, in the Golden Visa portal. This will follow a chronological criteria. What they are promising us is that from the moment of resubmission, they will have 30 to 90 days to give you an appointment. And these 30 to 90 days will depend if the client has a nationality that requires a bit more time in order to receive a visa to come to Portugal. So if you, for instance, if you're from the US, because you don't need a visa to come to Portugal, your appointment will be, if everything goes according to plan with the immigration office, the appointment will be given in 30 to 90 days. If you are from China, for instance, and you need a visa to come to your Schengen area, then they will give you more time to prepare, so you can request the visa at the embassy and request all the necessary documentation to guarantee that you are here for the appointment. Okay. One very important thing is that we cannot guarantee where the appointment will be. Okay, the appointments are going to be made by AIMA. We cannot choose the preferred location, and you will need to go to wherever the immigration office gives you an appointment. And we've seen with other law firms that we are very close to, that they are sending clients to the middle of nowhere in Portugal, very small immigration offices, because they want to ensure that the applications go as fast as possible, and you will not be able to choose. Okay, so by the time that you get an appointment, be prepared to go anywhere in the country. Okay. Since applications will now be processed online, the same rules applies to new applications. Each case will be automatically assigned to an immigration office, and we cannot guarantee where you're going to take your biometrics. Okay, the appointment will be very simple. It will be as it's always been. You will be having your biometric data collected. You will be having your physical presence in Portugal being confirmed by the immigration office, and the documentation that will be necessary for the appointment will be verified, scanned, and at the moment they're not keeping the documents, the original documents, as they did before, because they want to make sure that from now on the applications are completely online. Okay, so we will take all the documents with us. They will scan the documents, your family documents, your personal documents, and from there we take the documents back with us to the office, and the analysis is done completely online. Okay. One very important thing is the fees. Because of this new procedure, the immigration office will request that you pay the fees, the analysis, not the issuance fees of the card at the moment of the appointment. And because these issuance fees are very high, you need to guarantee that your Portuguese bank are aware that you're going to be having this large purchase, and you need to make sure that they have the authorization to take as that money from your account. Obviously, we will assist you with all of this. Okay, this is a very general idea, but we will be with you every step of the way, including going with you to the immigration office. Okay. Some additional details about this new procedure. First, we have the deadlines and priority applications. The priority for the immigration office in terms of scheduling are those applications that were submitted between 2019 and 2021. Those are the applications that were not transferred to this digital system, but they are a priority because they have been the ones that have been dealing with the backlog since the beginning of COVID. Okay. To proceed, applications must be complete and up to date, including the payment of all the fees. This means that when we submit applications, we need to make sure that every single document that they request is submitted at the platform. This takes obviously a bit more time because before we only had to submit the mandatory documents that had a little star at the beginning, and those were the mandatory, and the others we only submitted at the moment of the in-person appointment. As of now, we have to submit everything at the platform. Okay, so this includes declarations from Social Security, declarations from the tax authorities, powers of attorney, everything that you can think, and obviously this puts a bit more time into on how fast we can submit your application. This means that if AIMA wants the applications as complete as possible, they will not continue to notify us every time of missing documents. Okay, so it's crucial that we ensure that all the documentation is correctly submitted, so the immigration office can push this forward, because they really want to complete the applications as soon as possible and complete the or finish with this backlog once and for all. Okay, like I said before, key documentation in terms of the investor is the criminal record. Okay, and this criminal record needs to be certified or apostilled depending on your country. Okay, for the immigration office, the most important is that you attach to the application. Sorry, that you attach to the application the most important criminal record. So, if you are from a country but you have been residing in another country for 10, 20 years, 5 years, you need to bring to your application the most recent one, the country that you are residing, because that's the most important for the immigration office. Okay, in terms of family members, it's the same as before. The criminal records will need to be from the country of origin or nationality, and the country of residency. Okay, so family members, they need both criminal records from nationality and residency if they are different, and the main applicant needs to attach the criminal record that's most important or most the relevant criminal record. Okay, in terms of those that have invested in real estate, golden visa, because some of you you just signed the promissory agreement, you did not sign the deed of the property. So if the deadlines to signing the deed in terms of your promissory contract have already been expired, so we have already surpassed that deadline, then we will need a declaration from the seller in explaining why that deadline has already was surpassed. Okay, obviously this is a lot, but we will guide you all the way from beginning to end of this process, okay? But what we need in terms, very general terms, is we need a declaration stating why you have not complied with what's on the promissory agreement, why you did not sign the deed, because this obviously has impact in terms of the investment that you were supposed to do. In terms of family members and family reunification, family reunification remains possible after the investor's application has been submitted and those fees for the main applicant have been paid. However, family members will only be scheduled for an appointment after the investor's application is approved. Okay, so this continues to be the same. From what we heard from the immigration office, they will try to schedule the family members all together at the same time, but they cannot guarantee that this will be a possibility in every family. Okay, they will try their best, but you need to be prepared that in case they don't give an appointment to the family of one of you, you'll need to come a second time. And unfortunately, and I'll be very clear on this, we cannot risk ask to AIMA to reschedule an appointment. Okay, we understand the inconvenience of coming to Portugal 2-3 times for different appointments, but you really need to make sure that you come so you don't go to the back of the line in priorities to the immigration office. Okay, now we enter a very sensitive topic for a lot of you. It's the renewals. Okay, some of you already have a residency card. Your card is about to expire or already expired, and unfortunately we need to give you this news that at the moment, to the immigration office, renewals are not a priority. Okay, and this is because in terms of our Portuguese law, all residency cards are valid at least until the 30th of June of 2025. Okay, so until June of this year, all residency cards are expired, either those that already expired or those that are going to expire until this date. They are valid under the law, and this means that they are accepted in everywhere around the country. They're not accepted if you want to travel around the Schengen area or if you want to enter the Schengen area to a different country that it's not Portugal, but they are accepted here in Portugal. And this is why it's not a priority at the moment to the immigration office. Okay. We also have been informed that automatic renewals will not continue. So if you want to renew your residency card, you'll need to come to Portugal, okay? And you will need to have an appointment to do so. So those that are waiting for the renewal of the residency cards, you have two options. You either wait for the renewal process to resume, knowing that your residency permit continues to be valid, and that we, on our side, continue to ask for your normal appointment so you can go to the immigration office, and this is done by us and by mail. But I can tell you that we haven't been receiving any news regarding renewals. Or you have the option of file a summons procedure against the immigration office. Okay, this means that you file a complaint against AIMA to our courts, and our courts will force through to the result of the summons procedure to give you an appointment. And this we've seen that it's resulting in our clients being able to go to the immigration office and have their cards approved or their cards renewed. like I said, we will need to give, once your cards are about to expire, and this is 3 months before your cards are expired, you should send us an email requesting that we start the processing of renewal. But we will need to tell the immigration office that you want to renew. However, we kindly ask you that you don't repeatedly ask for updates and explanations, because unfortunately we don't have a lot of updates to give you or information to provide, because that information is not something that the immigration office gives to us. Okay, this is unfortunately the reality of dealing with the immigration office. So we just need to make sure that you are aware that we are trying to give you the best updated information that we have at the moment, and that with the immigration office things change, people change their minds, and one day Lisbon does one thing, the other day Porto does another, and we have to manage expectations. Okay, so every time we have an update regarding your application, you'll be the first ones to know. And from, I think now I'll pass the baton to Cátia. And thank you so much, guys.
So before we answer your questions, I just want to give you an overview of where are we at this stage. So as of today, we already notified all our clients that were in this new state of awaiting submission. If you did not yet receive AIMA's approval or an appointment, please check your inbox, including spam and the promotional folders. Or if you are unsure that you received the notification, feel free to send us an email, because it's important that if you did not have the appointment yet, it's important that we check your situation. Also, AIMA is constantly changing the status of applications. We don't understand why, but some clients that already were approved suddenly appear as awaiting submission. So if one of you receives any day a request for documentation, this does not mean that we forgot you. It means that AIMA changed the status for the application and is now requesting further documents. We don't know the reason for this, but it's happening. If we did not ask you for resubmission documents and your application has already been approved, or if you have already attended the appointment, you must wait. We currently have no means of expediting your process other than the process of the court summon that Cláudia already explained. If you wish to move forward with your application, if you want to move ahead of others, the court summon is the only option available. Going to AIMA, sending letters to AIMA, sending emails, at this point does not have any effect, okay? And they asked us, and we understand why. If the workers are responding to emails, they are not working. One of the main problems that AIMA faces is that they don't have enough manpower to do all the work. So they receive hundreds of emails every day, and they are not willing to be answering to them. And we need to contact them because, as you now learned, we have been facing several issues on the platform, and we need to make them aware of those issues. They ask us to do it by email, and if we are sending emails, are there appointments yet? Are there appointments yet? They will not answer to our emails. So our current actions are: first, we already requested updated documents to all our clients. The documents were requested and are the ones that we cannot obtain ourselves, okay? Like Cláudia explained, we are taking care of all the application because this is like a new application from the beginning. All the documents need to be submitted, and we are also requesting the bank statements and certificate, the investment-related documents, the tax and social security clearance certificates, drawing the power of attorneys. So please don't be alarmed if you send us the documents and 2 or 3 days later, your application is not submitted yet, because we need a lot of documents other than the ones that you will provide to us. Once all the required documents have been gathered, both from our office and from your side, we will proceed with the online submission and wait for the reschedule of the appointment. As you can see, this has been a massive task force for us, for AIMA as well, of course, but the workloads from our side, it's very similar to the initial application submission. We have to redo everything. Also, like my colleague explained, the banks are taking a huge amount of time and are fighting us on providing the documents. So we request sometimes 1, 2, 3, 10 times. They don't allow us to access the bank declaration. So in some situations, we may recur to you and ask you, please send an email to the bank, because they are not answering to us, and this is why. We also like to share that our work has been extremely challenging, because nothing seems to be functioning properly in the system. The AIMA platform is changing constantly. Clients we have already attended the appointments suddenly appear as awaiting submission, which theoretically should only apply to those without the approvals yet. The opposite, it's happening as well. At times we submit the documentation and the status does not change. Other times the status changes without us doing anything. And to make everything worse, we have been unable to generate the payment slips, the DUCs, and when we do, either they come with the amounts with the wrong fee, or we simply cannot pay them. This has been very, very challenging for everybody, really. So this is, AIMA is very deorganized at the moment, but they are really making an effort to improve the process and to start from the beginning, have a clean slate, and they are always asking for our patience. I know that you've been waiting, some of you, for a lot of years, and your frustration is our frustration. You send an email, request for updates. We say, unfortunately, there are no updates. And then you burst. Why are there no updates? What have you not done for us? What can we do? And this only generates other emails, other concerns that unfortunately we have no control over what is happening other than submitting the documents. As soon as we have any kind of new information, we will let you know. We will keep conducting these webinars, these informative sessions for you, so that you can do your request all take your doubts, make your questions, and it's easier for everybody. And please note that we are here all the way to support you, and we are doing our best, the best we can with what we have at this moment. So with this being said, I saw that most of the questions are for Cláudia, because like she said, most of the clients here are her clients, but still I will try to answer as many as I can, and then afterwards send give the word to Cláudia. Just know that you have my email, you have Cláudia's email. email us both, email us one of us. Any question that you have, please let us know. We'll do our best, like I said, to have everybody as informed as possible. So the first question is for Cláudia, but I don't think she minds that I take it. Whom does these changes affect? People who are applying for Golden Visa or also residency cards renewals. So I think over the course of time we answered this question. So the changes affect everybody in different ways. So for the new applications, the changes are, as we said, everything is done online and quicker, supposedly. And for the renewals, the changes are that nothing is done online, everything is in person, and we need to take all the documents for the renewals, but like we explained, renewals at this time are being very, very little in quantity because they are not prioritizing them. Do you require the criminal record to be apostille to submit or only for the interview? The documents need to be submitted as if they were for the appointment, okay? So you will need to take the originals to the appointment, but they will need to be submitted as complete as possible in the platform. If for some reason you cannot, you try your best and you cannot get the apostille or the translation or whatever, we submit with what we have, and when we go to the appointment, we take the document, in this case, with the apostille. So please try to send everything as updated and as complete as possible, but if that is not the case, then bring it when the appointment is scheduled. Is this being recorded? Yes. At the end of the webinar, we'll send you the link for the recorded session so you can review it or pass it to somebody that you think this could be interesting. So, Cláudia, when you finish up with these updates, could you also cover the questions regarding timelines, permanent residency or citizenship? Maybe I'll do the questions and at the end she will do a brief information on these topics. Will family members that already had biometrics interviews have to update their documents? If they already have the appointments, you don't need to update the documents, okay? If you receive the card or if you have the appointment or are waiting on the card, you don't need to send us anything. Only the clients that we request documents need to send us documents, okay? So new applications and applications that already are approved and already went to the biometrics appointment, you do not need to submit anything. If you have doubts, contact us, but the principle is only if we request documents, you will need to submit them. Yes, please address any AIMA changes post-application as well. That's what we saw before. Could you also talk about any changes of those who have already had their biometrics appointments? For the ones that already have the biometrics appointments, the only thing you need to do is wait, okay? At this point, we don't have any way of expediting your process other than the court summons, okay? Because they are trying to get everybody approved and everybody to the biometrics. Only afterwards, we are receiving, this is important to say, we are receiving appointments and we are receiving biometrics appointments for clients that were waiting the biometrics appointments. Of course, not in the quantity that we would like, but things are moving along, just very, very slow. Do we get access to the AIMA application portal? No, you do not get access to the AIMA application portal because we have the portal as over 4,000 clients. We do not have an account for each of you. It's the office account, and all the clients are there, so we cannot share with you the password. Even if we could, unfortunately, you would see that there's no information there. The only thing you have on the portal is the date that you submitted the documents, your personal information, but you cannot see the state that your process is, because this is a very, very rudimentary platform that has very little information. The situations change, but that's it. No information is given there whatsoever. For appointments, can you choose the preferred dates even though you cannot choose the preferred location? Unfortunately, no. They send us an email. What they promised was they will see which applicants are residing in Portugal. If you are in Portugal, they will not have the problem of giving you an appointment with 1 week or 2 weeks notice. But for the clients that they know that are outside of Portugal and from the countries they know the visas take time to obtain, what they promise is to give at least 2 months notice before the appointment. But we cannot choose the date, okay? Only in very specific situations, but normally only through the court summons, but even then they choose for us, okay? And like my colleague said, and I cannot stress this enough, it's very difficult to reschedule. If for some reason you cannot come to your appointment, please know that it will be very difficult to get a new appointment. You will go to the back of the line and you will have to wait. There's nothing, literally nothing we can do to expedite the appointment. Has anyone asked to go for any appointment as of now? The process is ongoing, starting on February, okay? The notice was given on December. They only had the sessions, if I'm not mistaken, in 16 and 18 of January, and only started requesting. So they announced it in December, but only mid, more or less, February, they changed the platform physically, okay? So we resubmitted some clients, but our office did not yet receive any appointment for the rescheduling, but we know of colleagues that already received. So we are starting to see things moving forward. Are the 14 days across 2 years in the country part of the physical presence verification? I'll leave this one to my colleague.
No, the physical presence verification is, it's what we assume is they seeing that you are in fact in Portugal, that you are the person that is going to the appointment, okay? The 14 days only start counting from the moment that you have your first residency card issued, and this continues to be the same, okay? That did not change. So the physical presence verification is making sure that the person taking biometrics is the person at the with the passport, and the person that are the owner of that golden visa, okay? One of the required documents for the updated application was an updated criminal record, which I have provided in apostille form. They're only valid for 90 days. Basically, you are asking if you can use the criminal record that we resubmitted, or you need to ask for a new one at the moment of the appointing, assuming that it will already be expired because it might already pass the 3 months mark. yes, or you will probably need a new criminal record, because from I was the one going to the session in representation of the office, the immigration or the immigration office gave a session with all of the law firms that had the biggest clients, and I was the one going on behalf of Caiado Guerreiro. Uh, they were very adamant in this sense that they will need updated criminal records. Okay, we cannot guarantee that they will not ask you for an updated criminal record if the one we used at the resubmission has already expired, because they gave you an appointment in 3 months and a half. Okay, so this is something that we will need to make sure with the immigration office before we give you a set in stone confirmation. Okay, but from what I gather with the immigration office, and having been doing this for a lot of long time, I would say you will need a new criminal record, just to make sure that they don't create any additional problems that make your application go slower than it needs to be. Okay, and we understand the cost, the the difficulties of having your criminal records issued, then apostilled. We understand all of that, but unfortunately, with the immigration office, you either comply and you have your processes moving forward, even if it's slower, or you don't comply and then you don't have your residency cards, and all of the work, all of the time that you already wasted, obviously, is it's put to waste. So we will need to confirm, but in terms of my uh, professional opinion, yes, you will need a new criminal record. Um, Given renewals are not a priority, do you sense it will extend validity for another year? I cannot, obviously, this is just my professional opinion. I'm pretty sure they will continue to extend, if not a year, at least 6 months, because they are very aware of the situation. Okay, something that they told us at this specific session with the immigration office is that they are aware of the situation. They know that it's not a good look in our country that they're not giving renewals. So I would say they will continue to extend the validity. But like I said, the validity is only for Portugal. So if you intend to travel around the Schengen area, or if you intend um, to do business in Europe with that residency card, then not moving forward with the summits will will be difficult for you to continue to do your work and travel around the Schengen area. Okay, we have a questions. We applied and have been approved for the D7 visa. We are only waiting for our biometric appointment. Will our golden visa automatically be cancelled? Yes, at the moment that one, it depends. It really depends. If the golden visa comes first from the D7 will be cancelled. But if the D7 comes first, your golden visa will then be cancelled, because you cannot have two residencies in Portugal at the same time. So it really depends on what comes first. And from what we are gathering, I would say the D7 will come first, and your golden visa will be cancelled. Okay. AIMA is committed to responding within 90 days of submitting documents. Will they respond to you or your personal email? No. Unfortunately, the immigration office, even if they respond, normally the response does not have anything to do with the emails that we send. So no, they don't respond to, or it's very difficult for them to respond with an actual response regarding an application. Okay, so it's very difficult to work with the immigration office. I submitted my golden visa application in July of 2023. May I know when it will be approved? Like I said, like we have been said, clients that are still that have not gone to the appointment, they had not had their process approved, or even if they had their process approved, some clients have gone back to the status of awaiting resubmission. So in that sense, you will probably, and because your application was submitted in July, obviously I will need to see specifically your case, but you probably have been notified by us to prepare new documents to resubmit your application. If you have not received an email, please see your spam. And if you have not received anything in your spam, you can send me an email or Cátia, so we can then see your process and what's happening in that in your process specific. Okay. What is the estimated time period for Golden Visa approval? 40 months and counting with biometric interview 21 months ago. So from the moment that you go to the appointment, the approval, your final approval really depends on where your application has been submitted. Okay, some immigration offices take less time, but what we all also have been able to attain with some of our clients is that they took biometrics, let's say, in Coimbra, and for some reason their application was sent to Porto, because at the moment Lisbon and Porto are the main cities with applications and are the main cities that we are seeing movement. So it's very normal that some applications, although you took the biometrics in one place and we expected that to take some time, like a year, 1 year and a half, for the final approval, by some reason, and we assume that it's the restructuring of the work with the immigration office, your application was sent to another office. And that office might be Lisbon, might be Porto, might be the islands. But so we cannot at the moment inform you on where your applications are, because most of our emails don't get an answer. Okay, what we can guarantee you is that we are asking for updates on the application, and sometimes they give us an update, other times they don't. So although I understand this is very frustrating, and it's almost absurd that you have to wait almost 2 years to get your residency card, it's unfortunately the reality of the immigration office at the moment. Okay. There's a question, I missed the first 15 minutes. Is this being recorded to watch later? Yes, we will post this on YouTube and then send the link to everyone that's here today. Now I'm going to pass to the rest of the webinar to Cátia. Thank you so much.
So I don't think I will have time to go through all the questions. I'll do my best to do it quickly to see if Cláudia can just give a little information on the citizenship that you requested. As for Leif's question, we'll need to get back at you, okay, because we already talked about this. In your situation, it's very specific, and you can, yes, apply for the permanent residency, but I think this is a little bit complex to go through at this stage. So I will get back at you. I promise I won't forget. Is there a deadline to resubmit the documents? No, we don't have a deadline. They just will look at the applications as we are resubmitting the documents, and we think that we will see for quite some time this new process. So they will keep the process open, waiting for the documents. I have my Golden Visa residency since 2018, so there is no action for me at this time. This is only for the ones that are waiting on biometrics or have not been approved yet. If you already have your card, no action from your side. You can see here the link to our YouTube session. Who has resubmitted all documents again? I'm trying to understand. The ones that have to resubmit all the documents are the ones that we already notified. If you already were approved, came to the biometrics, have your card, this does not apply to you, okay? Only if you are still waiting on the first biometrics appointment. How much will the court summon costs? Will it affect the Portuguese passport acquisition negatively? So as for the costs, since the court summons are filed by our litigation department, please send me an email so I can forward the email to my colleagues and they will explain all the costs. And no, it will not affect the Portuguese passport negatively, because the court summon is not a legal action per se. It's an administrative process that we tell the court, we've been waiting for lots of months for this client and nothing happens. What the court does is they summon AIMA to take action within 10 days. Of course, normally they don't do it in 10 days, but the process moves forward. So this is not a judicial course. You will not be affected negatively in any way. So same question for the citizenship. Cláudia will need to do this in 5 minutes. When do you think the applications submitted at late 2024 will change the status? I think it's very premature for us to be analyzing applications from 2024 since we are still analyzing applications for 2019. Okay, what they promised us was that the new applications would be much quicker than the old ones, and why? Like we explained, initially everything was handled by Lisboa, Porto, the big cities. Now, since it's done online, it can go anywhere. And since it can go anywhere, the processes are going to be way quicker because you don't have 2 or 3 offices working, you have 20 offices working, and that's why things will move quicker. The inconvenience for you is you cannot choose come to Lisbon or come to Porto because they will choose for you and they will choose probably the office that has this work. So disregard this message, okay, disregard it. We have already got residency cards, they expire 2025, understand that there are no, what happens after the dates in case we don't receive renewal appointments? Again, you will not receive renewal appointments because they are not being given. What happens is the cards, even if expired, they are valid for Portugal, and we think that they will be keep renewing the validity of the cards. So in Portugal, you will not have any issue if the card is not valid anymore, so if it expired. If you want to travel, we highly recommend that you go for the court summons, okay? Because you will need a card for travels. This is only valid to Portugal. So the short answer is, in Portugal, nothing happens. If you want to travel, we recommend that you take legal action because you will need to have the card. But please keep, like Cláudia said, keep sending us notice that your card is going to expire, because we will request the appointments, because at some point they will start giving the appointments. So we will do the same work, requesting the appointments, just don't expect them to be granted in the timely manner that we hoped they would. Do you get notifications from AIMA portal if requirements or support changes, or does the staff check in every day? We do not get any types of notifications from AIMA when the status changes. These types of status, okay? We get notifications by email saying that you were approved, that documents are missing, that if they request something, yes, we receive an information. But these changes, we do not receive anything. And we do not check them every day, okay? If we did, we could not do anything else because we have lots of applications. Normally what we do is once or twice a week, we compare the new list on the AIMA platform with the one that we already have, because you have no notion how rudimentary the platform is. It's literally like an Excel or Access list with, you can click the client, and if you enter the client and get back, you go to the beginning. You cannot choose the client, you cannot do finds, you cannot do anything, okay? So it's really, really rudimentary, and we are hoping for a new platform soon. What is the exact date that applications went digital? I don't know the exact date. Was mid-February when they announced that the platform was already working 16, 18 February this year, but I cannot pinpoint that at this moment. How many applications do we have pending? We as an office, we have lots of applications. Like I said, we have 4,000 clients, so we have our hands full at the moment. If residency visas are extended after June 2025, is there any delay to timeline to apply for the passport citizenship? No, this does not affect none of these changes or extensions or anything has effect on the citizenship timeline. Does the clock for citizenship start for Golden Visa holders on the initial application date? Yes. It starts when we submit the initial process. The payment slip normally is issued in the same day, and it's available for payment within 1 or 2 days. And the date that counts, it's the date of the payment. So 2 or 3 days after submitting the initial requests. Biometric was 21 months ago in Lisbon. Yes, we know, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do at this point. We have lots of clients in the same situation. Do you expect the process will proceed as usual after biometrics appointment? Approval will come within 6 months after biometrics appointment. Again, they promised appointments within 90 days of resubmission, and hopefully the whole process would be complete this year, but we are waiting to see how this goes. Thank you for your information. So only to, I will not take more questions. If you have anything else, please send it to me or Cláudia. I will just pass the word to Cláudia very quickly so that she can answer the citizenship and permanent residency questions that you guys asked. I will say my goodbyes for now. Thank you so much for listening to us. We will keep doing these informative sessions, and anything we can do for you, you know where to find us. Thank you so much.
So, you asked timeline for permanent residency or for citizenship application. So, in terms of the citizenship application, it's very simple. The 5 years start counting from the moment that you submitted and paid the analysis fee of your first application. If you are called now to resubmit your application, that's not the new timeline or the new timelines for you to start counting the 5 years, okay? In terms of the permanent residency, it continues to be 5 years from the moment that you have your first residency card. The nationality law changed, but the residency or the immigration law in order to obtain a residency, a permanent residency, did not change. Okay, it's a bit strange how you can get your Portuguese nationality before you become a permanent resident in Portugal, but this is the reality, okay? So for nationality, the moment of first submission, permanent residency from the moment that you obtain your first residency card. Um, uh, we had a question here if it's someone applied for the Portuguese nationality and it's going to be eligible for the permanent residency if it makes sense to apply for the permanent residency while he or her waits for the nationality to be approved. It does not make any sense because getting an appointment for the permanent residency, it's the same as getting an appointment to renew. It's still with the immigration office. The immigration office is not giving appointments for these types of cases. They will not, and even if you get an appointment, it will take around 1 year for them to approve your permanent residency and your nationality. If it was done correctly, it should take less than that, okay? And you cannot be a permanent resident and Portuguese national at the same time. So it does not make a lot of sense to do both applications at the same time, okay? I think, let me see if I'm applying the passport, does it mean I don't need to extend my residency card? Uh, in terms of practical, in a practical sense, your residency card is still extended until June of 2025. So no, you will not need to extend your residency card because under the law it will be extended. However, I like to we submit applications of nationalities if the cards that have already expired because they are still valid under the law. But if we have a possibility of renewing your residency card and we are able to get you an appointment to renew the residency card, then I like to tell my clients that you should renew the residency card because we don't know if by any chance the registry will find or create a problem because you don't have a physical residency card, a valid physical residency card. Obviously, they cannot do this, and we have normally they don't ask for this, but I like to be in the safe side of things. Obviously, I will submit the application because it takes time to get it uh, uh, for that to be analyzed and your nationality approved and you become a Portuguese citizen. But if we have the chance to renew the residency card, we should always try to do it because that's the way to guarantee that everything is done correctly, okay? And it's always better safe than sorry. Did you say you could obtain citizenship before you get your permanent residency? Yes, most of our clients are going directly from the temporary residency card through the Golden Visa directly to the Portuguese nationality. They don't go before COVID. You had to go through the step of getting the temporary, the permanent, and then only after getting the permanent would you be able to apply for the Portuguese nationality. But because of COVID and new regulations, you don't have to do this. So if by the time that you submitted your application, or you have a residency card, you submitted your application, it already you have already waited 5 years, you have all the requirements, you can go directly to the Portuguese nationality. The only requirement that the law, apart from obviously the language, the only requirement that the law asks is that you have a valid residency card. And this is either because your card is still valid, obviously, or because it's valid under the extension of the law. So yes, you can go for the Portuguese nationality before you get the permanent residency. And if you become a Portuguese national, you'll not have to request the permanent residency or continue to renew your temporary residency, because those residencies will be completely cancelled. Okay, you cannot be a Portuguese citizen and at the same time have a residency card in Portugal. Okay, once you become a Portuguese citizen, you have all the rights that the Portuguese citizen has, including living in the Schengen area, traveling anywhere to the almost 200 countries that we can enter without a visa. So yes, I think we don't have any more questions. As always, guys, it was a pleasure. Someone is okay. It was a pleasure being with you here. If you have any questions, like Cátia said, we will continue to do this. We can continue to give you updates by mail, although we kindly ask you that you don't send us a lot of them, because we are trying. I'm at the moment trying to submit your applications as soon as possible, so we can start counting the 90 days for you to get an appointment. Okay, and this takes time. Obviously this takes a lot of work. So we kindly ask you that you try to work with us on this. The extension will be valid until June of this year, but we expect it to continue at least 6 months more. Okay, but it will depend on the government. But we, as our professional opinions, can think it will continue to be extended. Okay, so with that being said, thank you so much, guys. I wish you a very nice rest of your weekend, of your week, a very nice weekend as well, and we will see you in the next webinar. Thank you so much.